I'd like to turn to another gentleman from the state of Texas, someone I got to know very well on the Rules Committee. Michael Burgess represents his district in Texas, and similar to what we just heard from New Mexico, I believe Texas school districts also, through property taxes on oil and gas production, on pipelines, on gas utilities, receive at least $1 billion a year as well. So, Dr. Burgess, thank you so much for being here this evening and helping us tell the American people the real impacts of these decisions.
Well, thank you, Chairman, and congratulations to you for your chairmanship of the Western Caucus. And I appreciate you including me in this discussion this evening. On the way to get ready to come over here, here's a bit of breaking news. Politico and their online newsletter, 6:30 tonight. The headline, Biden's plans for economic recovery imperiled by swelling ranks of long-term jobless. The first sentence reads, millions of Americans are staring at the reality of long-term unemployment, a precarious and worsening situation that threatens to drag on the economic recovery after the pandemic ends. You know what? I remember when Democrats used to be the champion of the working class, the champion of the working man and woman. But long-term unemployment is so damaging to people's families and people's lives. Suspending the production on federal lands, granted Texas doesn't have the amount of federal lands that some of the other western states do, but it affects us. And Todd Staples, our former agriculture commissioner in the state of Texas, now the head of the Texas Oil and Gas Association, writes in January, banning energy development on federal lands and offshore waters not only threatens thousands of the best-paying jobs, but needlessly erases much-needed revenue that helps pay for schools and other essential services. So said Todd Staples, the president of Texas Oil and Gas Association. Going on, American oil and natural gas is safe, clean, abundant, and misguided policies will only stifle our nation's energy and environmental progress. 1 million jobs across the country, 120,000 of those in the state of Texas alone. And as we heard from our colleague, Ms. Harrell, it does affect tax revenues for local activities in our schools, building our highways. Todd Staples went on to say the oil and natural gas industry is producing energy in cleaner, more efficient ways than 10 to 15 years ago, all the while producing more affordable and reliable energy to power our daily lives. Increased use of natural gas is the #1 reason by the United States power sector cut carbon dioxide emissions 33%. And look, everybody talks about going to electric cars. Where's the electricity going to come from? Well, some of it's going to come from natural gas-fired power plants. Look, again, I do remember when the Democratic Party used to be the party of the working man and woman. I question why President Biden has strayed so far from that. A little over 2 weeks ago, he said on the western steps of this Capitol building that his #1 priority was going to be American jobs, and then he immediately causes immeasurable harm to millions of Americans. Dan, I want to thank you for leading this hour. Thank you for letting me participate, and I'll yield back.